Once upon a time, in a little town called Altadena in California, Southern California, right above Pasadena, I spent some time with my sister Kathy. Being an early morning riser, Kathy not so much, I would get up and go out and drink coffee while I watched the sun come up, and I would hear this horrible noise, and I would think, gosh, that sounds like parrots. Parrots? In California? No. Parrots are tropical. They don't come here. In the evenings, I'd be outside listening to the birds say their good nights, and I'd hear them cooing. And I'd think, geez, that sounds like parrots. Nah, this is California. This isn't the jungle. So I asked my brother-in-law, what's that noise? And he said, those are parrots. The wild parrots of Altadena. I took some time to go on to Google, and I found out that there are flocks and flocks of parrots around here. Not only that, there are a couple of theories of how they came to be. So the first theory is that somebody let them out of their cages. In order to have this many parrots, there would have had to have been a lot of people with a lot of parrots letting them all out of their cages. And then the parrots would have to meet up with each other, and they'd have to find love and make more families. That didn't quite seem right. So then, the next theory said, during the fire in Bel Air in 1961, a pet shop owner, knew that his building was going to burn, and so he let all of the birds out so they wouldn't burn to death. I like that theory. There are a couple of other theories, how the government seized some illegal parrots coming into the country from the jungles of South America, and during that situation, a number of parrots were released. It doesn't really matter how it happened. The fact is that now, in Altadena, there are flocks and flocks of wild parrots. Well, I got to thinking, and this story came to mind. And again, it starts with, once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Iona. And she lived not too far from Farnsworth Park in Altadena, California. She had a tiny little adobe house with a flat roof that had a patio up there, and sometimes she would entertain guests up there underneath an umbrella, bringing up trays of tea and cookies or other things that adults like to drink. One day, she was very sad. A long time ago, she lost her husband. He was in the military, in the Navy. And she'd just been told that her son was going to be stationed in Japan, taking his wife and all of their children, there were 3, with him. Iona, now called Nona because that's what her grandchildren called her. Nona was sad because those grandchildren meant so much to her. Of course she would miss her son, and of course she would miss her daughter-in-law. But the grandchildren, they meant so much to her. Her sister, Nan, came to visit. Nana was known as Nana. Always and forever, once her oldest grandchild was born, she just became Nana. Nana came to visit her and said, Nona, why are you crying? And Nona said, I will miss my grandchildren. How can you not want to be with your grandchildren? Now, Nana, she'd been doing some things, and her grandchildren lived with her now, but she understood what it was like to miss them. And she said to Nona, if you don't like where you are, change it. And Nona stopped crying and looked at her and thought, what can I do to change that? And just then, two beautiful wild parrots came and landed on Nona's patio, cooing to each other and doing a little parrot dance for Nana and Nona. I'll continue the story another time, my Nannikins. I love you, always and forever.